Dementia is not a specific disease, but it is a general term for the impaired ability to remember, think, or make decisions that interferes with doing everyday activities. According to the CDC, an estimated 5 million adults are living with dementia. It's projected to be nearly 14 million by 2060. So the question is there anything that can be done about this cognitive decline? My good friend and Dr. Jeff Welcho from the Center for Functional Medicine joins us today with some insight on this topic. First of all, let's just start with what is dementia and cognitive impairment?
Well, I think it helps to kind of define these things because there are levels of cognitive impairment that I think it's important to know. We start with what we call subjective cognitive impairment, and what that means is the person can tell something's wrong. They may not be remembering things like they should, or work is harder than it used to be, or they're not organizing things as well as they could, but they're still taking care of things, and friends and family may not even notice, and if they come and get tested by the doctor, it may be normal, but they can still tell something's wrong.
So from there, it's mild cognitive impairment.
Then mild cognitive impairment is the next level, and usually loved ones or close friends can notice a difference. They're still taking care of themselves, and we can usually detect it on testing in the office as well.
Okay, and now on to dementia.
And then it progresses to dementia, and dementia is more of a global deficit. It usually starts with memory, but calculating, spelling, organizing, all these different things, usually several of them become impaired, and then it affects the ability to take care of themselves.
And it finally ends up with Alzheimer's disease. But why are more people getting dementia?
I think there's several reasons. The obvious one is we're just living longer. In 1920, 100 years ago, the average lifespan in the United States was in the mid-50s, and it's hard to believe that.
That's scary.
Yes.
For us, like I'm
Correct.
mid-40s, I'm getting close to 50.
We're close to that, and so now it's closer to 80, and it's not uncommon at all for people to live into their 90s.
Okay, we know poor diet and lifestyle affect environmental toxins, but let's talk about genetics real quick. Sometimes it's in the genetics.
There are genetics. Now, it's important to remember genetics are not our destiny, but they're a road that we can go down, and so the most common one is what we call the ApoE4 gene, and we can test for that now, and if you're positive for that, then you definitely have an increased risk of developing dementia.
Now, Alzheimer's is the only one out of the 10 most common causes of death where there's no effective treatment.
There's no effective treatment. The one drug therapy concept that we in medicine use doesn't work for dementia, and the main reason for that is they have identified at least 50 causes of dementia. And so the analogy that we use is if you have a roof with 50 holes in it and you only patch one or two of the holes, you still have a leaky roof.
Yeah.
And so, so that's why one drug therapy doesn't work.
But in terms of causes of dementia, they're in being that Alzheimer's though, what is going on with the brain? It's just not working.
Well, and that's a misconception that we've had as well. We in medicine thought for years that something in the brain had gone wrong.
But that's not true.
No, it's not true. It's actually a normal defense mechanism. With Alzheimer's, we know that amyloid plaque formation is all throughout the brain, and another thing called neurofibrillary tangles, and we always thought that that was a consequence of something going awry, like a cancer cell, but it's not. It's the brain's natural defense mechanism trying to protect itself from toxins or various problems going on.
Well, what can we do if one of our loved ones, if we notice the dementia or they're having cognitive issues?
Well, try to contact us. There's actually hope now.
There's a RECODE program.
The RECODE program. It was developed by Dr. Dale Bredesen, who is a research doctor out of UCLA who has over 40 years of Alzheimer experience, and it's a comprehensive program. It's not just one or two things. It's diet, lifestyle, stress management, sleep management. Then we look for sources of inflammation. We look for toxic exposures and try to correct that. A lot of these people have poor dental hygiene, and so that can be a source.
But the quicker you get in and you get into this recoding, and where you're starting to do, again, not just trying to treat one hole, you're trying to treat the entire body, taking care of everything from the nutrients, the hormones, everything else. You're trying to get the body functioning in its best and current self.
Correct, and the sooner the better. If someone is having some issues and it's obvious, or if they're noticing it, then I would say go in and let's test you. Let's do some neurocognitive testing, see if we can see some abnormalities. Let's do some lab testing and see. One thing that we need to keep in mind is, the average monthly stay in a nursing home in Texas is $6,000 a month. And so, yes, this workup and this treatment protocol may seem like it's expensive because MRI testing and some of these things are expensive, but it's way less than just even 1 month in a nursing home.
Good night. All right, where can we go to get more information?
Just go to our website at cfmamarillo.com, or you can call our number, 350-7807.
You brought a book, The End of Alzheimer's.
Yes, this is Dr. Bredesen's book. If someone kind of wants to know a general overview of what our program is and why, then this is a wonderful synopsis of what we're trying to do.
Very good. If you want to know more about what Dr. Welchel is doing over at the Center for Functional Medicine, the address information is there. You can go cfamarillo.com. Dr. Welchel, we always appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. It's more than just hocus pocus. Laura's in the kitchen with a bewitching display of tricks and treats for your Halloween party.